Welcome back to Network Africa. Now, this morning, French riot police and deconstruction workers arrived for a new day of demolition of the Shack town outside of Calais in the north of France. However, they were met by activists and migrants who tried to block the demolition by sitting on top of a hut planned for destruction. Thousands of migrants fleeing war and poverty from Afghanistan to Syria to Libya have converged on the northern port over the past year. The demolition comes after a judge upheld a government order last week to evict migrants living in the southern part of the camp, although a few makeshift buildings of social importance, such as a church and a school, are to remain untouched.
The aim is to try and stop the demolition, although the police showed very little regard for that kind of peaceful protest yesterday, sadly.
Now, without surprise, South African President Mr. Jacob Zuma has survived his second no-confidence vote in a year over what the main opposition, that's the Democratic Alliance Party, called his reckless handling of the economy. President Zuma had the overwhelming support of the African National Congress, that's the ANC, which controls almost two-thirds of the assembly. That was the case even though the president did not attend the proceedings. The outcome did not go down well with the Democratic Alliance. The shadow minister of finance even went as far as saying President Jacob Zuma has become a one-man wrecking ball who will stop at nothing in order to survive, including wrecking the economy and wrecking South Africa, end of quote. Let's just take a quick look at the numbers. But first, we'll flash back to what happened in 2015. You're seeing it right there on your screen. During the no-confidence vote, there were 221 opponents, 113 supporters, and 8 people abstained from voting. Now, we're going to move on to what happened yesterday during the no-confidence vote. You can see that the numbers were even higher for those who opposed the move. There were 225 opponents of the no-confidence vote. The supporters were 99 and 22 abstained from voting. Well, for more on what played out yesterday, we go live to our correspondent in Johannesburg, Betty Dibia. Betty, thank you very much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Well, Betty, you basically predicted that things would play out this way, and they did. Kindly tell us about the reaction that followed after the outcome of the vote.
Well, the reaction, let me put it this way. I'll split them, and then you make up your mind who would have done what.
Okay.
There was jubilation, singing outside the parliament. There were people who said, well, no surprises there. There was frustration, and then those who said, what's the point of this vote anyway? So you make up your mind who would have done what. And also remember the EFF, that's another major opposition party, didn't participate in the debate as well as the vote. You know, so we've seen the numbers, and Zuma remains in office.
Well, Betty, besides the fact that the ANC controls two-thirds of the assembly, what are the other factors that continue to help President Zuma survive this no-confidence vote, despite the numerous scandals?
He may have survived the votes, but in the hearts of the people, they're quite divided on the confidence issue. Okay. Quite a lot of people are worried about the economy. So that's not what's playing out in Parliament, and that's where you decide whether he stays on or not. Okay. But there are many other things. There's division among the opposition people, opposition parties. You have those who feel the DA that brought the motion for the no confidence vote, that they're not racially balanced as well, and that they wouldn't want to be instruments used. That's what some of the opposition party members said. They wouldn't want to be used as instruments on the agenda of the DA. So there's division among the opposition, so you can't even get higher numbers. The EFF, as I said earlier, didn't participate. Then you have, although some of these other parties are opposition, UDM, COPE, and the rest, they have common memories of the struggle against the party. And I remember when one of the white members of parliament said yesterday that President Zuma must apologize to the white people of South Africa for saying that they stole the land. There was a common outcry. So these people came from the same trenches and the same fight against the party. And these are things with a lot of memories they wouldn't want to throw away. So even at that, you have...
I think we've lost our correspondent there. We should try to reconnect with her. But for now, let's look at more developments in South Africa. Now, there are currently some food challenges in the country, but some women have opted to help low-income communities in Cape Town to take charge of their lives and households through micro-farming. Here are the details.
During the season of intense drought in southern Africa, a South African woman, Christine Kaba, is doing what she can to make a difference no matter how little. Today, Christine is harvesting the newest crop of green peppers. Mama Kaba, as she is known here, is the operations manager for Harvest of Hope. The organization runs several small gardens in poor townships in Cape Town, South Africa. After losing her job to a domestic worker, Mama Kaba began growing vegetables at the back of her house to supplement her dwindling income and support her family. With her newfound knowledge, she opted to join Abalimi, which works primarily with unemployed women.
I like to see the women stand up, not to cry, say, this Friday my husband didn't give me the money. End of the month my husband didn't do this. We do it ourselves. We're managing our gardens, we're managing our money. The people didn't see the bank card. Everybody's got a bank card now. They know that the 15 we got salary. And we're working from 7 till 6 o'clock. Because all our garden is near to our house. We see our children all the time.
The Abalimi project was started back in 1982 by a group of volunteers during the apartheid era to help poor people in the townships of the Western Cape Province grow and farm their own crops as a means of survival. The project has grown to about 3,000 micro-farmers, with the majority growing vegetables and other crops in gardens at home. With soaring food prices in South Africa, more and more people are taking to micro-farming in order to sustain themselves. Abalimi's micro-farmers who grow organic vegetables without using chemicals say they have found a way to cope in hard times. However, they still need some assistance.
We need support government to create more jobs. You see the youth there, they're working there. They're working because it's a salary at the end, and they donate those veg to the other homes. They know to that homes there's no person is working, that granny is hungry, we donate, they get salary.
Despite only having a basic primary education, Mama Kaba has become an inspiration to many women and men here, showing them that they too can make positive contributions to their families and communities.
And finally, on Network Africa, here is our question of the day. With the present situation regarding the fuel scarcity, we're wondering how you're coping with the situation. Feel free to send us your feedback either via email or Twitter. The address and handles are right there on your screen. Thank you so much for watching Network Africa on Channels Television. I'm Cynthia Are.